Pull him in! I cannot reach! Watch the weight! Hold on! Pull the...
50 million years ago, the Tethys Sea vanished as the Indian plate slammed into Eurasia, thrusting marine limestone 5 miles high. Reaching a bright nylon settlement atop a moving glacier, we breathe in Khumbu air, scented with campfire smoke and crisp ozone. Sherpa monks burn juniper in the puja ceremony, teaching us that the mountain is a goddess, not a trophy. Moving through the blue maze of the Khumbu Icefall, we watch massive ice blocks collapse like tumbling high-rise buildings. At the summit, the atmosphere thins into indigo space, reminding us we are only guests in this vertical kingdom. Past the peak lies the eerie Rainbow Valley, where brightly colored equipment remains as a frozen warning of the mountain's peril. At Thukla Pass, silent stone cairns honor the many lives claimed by the merciless shifting ice. Our expedition starts in Lukla, featuring an inclined airstrip that drops into a deep gorge with zero margin for mistakes. While Everest is legendary, Annapurna is lethal, claiming 1 in 3 who dare to scale her treacherous heights. Hiking across 12 different ecological zones toward Thorongla Pass, we find the atmosphere contains merely half the normal oxygen level. As altitude increases, Hindu traditions melt into Buddhist chants, making spirituality feel as light as the thinning air. Tilicho Lake acts as a bright blue mirror, reflecting massive summits like a quiet portal into an alternative realm. Sherpas are the true masters, reading clouds and fixing ropes across terrain that shifts with every passing season. Sure-footed yaks traverse slick ice with weighted hooves, hauling solar equipment and grain up incredibly steep mountain slopes. In Namche Bazaar, children play on blue stone terraces, while the bronze gaze of Tenzing Norgay watches the summits. The restricted desert of Upper Mustang showcases crimson sandstone formations rising like sharp fangs into the howling wind. Ancient sky caves guard the secrets of a civilization carved into limestone, stripped bare by the silence. Morning light illuminates the gilded roofs at Tangboch, shaping a sacred arena of ancient stone and chanting. The red panda survives in bamboo clouds, a testament to life's grace in the oxygen-starved heights. Meeting orange-robed ascetics covered in ash reveals that the ultimate achievement is practicing the philosophy of detachment. In Kathmandu, the palace squares are geometric poems where every carved wooden beam tells a story of survival. Ornate wooden window casings look like detailed entryways, watched over by traditional gods guarding the lively streets. At Durbar Square, the air smells of vermilion and marigolds beneath the terrifying face of Kal Bhairav. We walk through ancient plazas that have survived hundreds of years of earthquakes and the steady march of time. In this kingdom of extremes, we realize the mountain has finally found us, changing our souls forever. Try to imagine 50 million years ago when the Tethys Sea disappeared during a massive continental crash, slowly building a 5-mile-tall mountain range at the pace of growing fingernails. This is where India relentlessly grinds into Eurasia, creating a jagged sovereignty that holds 8 of the world's 10 highest, most intimidating peaks. Touching down on the elevated runways of Khumbu, we immediately feel the crisp breeze scented with burning timber and ozone. We trek toward base camp at 17,600 feet, entering a nomadic city of neon nylon perched precariously atop a moving, groaning glacier. Known as Chomolungma to local Sherpas, we offer smoldering juniper during sacred puja rituals to shed our pride before climbing higher. We navigate the sapphire blue labyrinth of the Khumbu Icefall. A terrifying maze of ice blocks the size of apartment buildings that collapse without warning. Ascending the massive 4,000-foot Lhotse Wall, each labored breath represents a difficult triumph in our collective struggle to stay alive. At 29,032 feet, the indigo sky fades into the blackness of space, revealing the Earth's curvature in a moment of terrifying, silent clarity. Pausing at the Hillary Step, we understand that conquering Everest is impossible. We are only allowed to remain there for a few brief moments. Triumph on these heights is often shadowed by the macabre Rainbow Valley, where the vibrant gear of those who never returned serves as a frozen warning. Quiet stone memorials at Thukla Pass highlight a grim truth. For every 100 adventurers who summit, one climber perishes in the freezing cold. The danger begins with a gamble at Lukla Airport, where a tilted runway ends in an empty abyss, leaving pilots no room for error. At night, the stellar canopy stretches over the summits in vibrant waves, hiding the peak's unforgiving and deadly toll on climbers. While Everest is legendary, Annapurna is truly treacherous, boasting a 33% fatality rate, where 1 in 3 climbers never come home. Regardless of danger, Many pursue the 230-kilometer Annapurna Trail, which ranges from warm agricultural terraces to vibrant flowering forests. Trek peaks at Thorong La Pass, a moonscape where the wind is thin and the air holds only half the oxygen required for life. Traversing 20 bridges and 12 diverse ecological zones, we arrive at Kagbeni, where pale streams cascade down dark ancient rock faces. This 3-week odyssey around a sleeping giant proves the greatest distance traveled is not across the land, but within the human spirit. On 50 million years back, the Tethys Sea disappeared during a massive plate collision that created this soaring mountain domain. India slammed into Eurasia at the speed of a fingernail's growth, thrusting marine limestone to birth the Himalayas, where 8 of the world's 10 tallest peaks reside. Up in the Khumbu region, the crisp atmosphere smells of burning wood and ozone. Everest Base Camp is a nomadic city of nylon perched on a groaning glacier where prayer flags flap against oxygen tanks. Local monks burn aromatic branches during the puja ritual, showing that pride is what the peak strips away first. Come, we navigate the sapphire labyrinth of the Khumbu Icefall, dodging ice blocks the size of apartment buildings. At 29,032 feet, the sky darkens into deep space, exposing our planet's curved horizon. On the Hillary step, we realize we never conquer Everest. We are merely guests permitted to stand there for a fleeting moment. Success is overshadowed by the grim Rainbow Valley, where colorful clothing of deceased climbers stands as an icy caution. The ice groans beneath our boots toward Thukla Pass, where silent stone cairns mark a sobering reality. For each 100 climbers reaching the top, 1 person perishes. The gamble begins at Lukla Airport, where a tilted runway ends in an abyss, leaving zero margin for error. Though Everest gets the fame, Annapurna is far deadlier, claiming the lives of nearly a third of its climbers. Thousands still brave the circuit, transitioning from subtropical rice terraces to the oxygen-starved moonscape of Thorong La Pass. After traveling through 12 diverse weather zones, we reach Kagbeni's dark stone structures. This odyssey around a sleeping giant proves the greatest distance traveled isn't across the terrain, but within the human spirit. The harsh environment makes each gasp a difficult triumph for staying alive. It is a brutal test of will and strength. Climbing higher, Hindu practices blend into Buddhist mantras, lending a sense of weightlessness to the spiritual atmosphere. Tilisho Lake reflects the peaks like a turquoise mirror, acting as a silent gateway to another world. The local Sherpas guide the way, predicting weather patterns and securing safety lines on ever-changing mountain slopes. Yaks navigate sheer ice with broad hooves, carrying solar panels up slopes that seem to defy gravity. Round the blue slate dwellings of Namchet Bazaar, local kids run freely, where visitors gasp for breath. We stand before the bronze statue of Tenzing Norgay, a silent sentinel watching the summits. This life-changing trek leads past misty bamboo thickets where red pandas nest far beneath the towering summits. What part of yourself will you leave behind, and what will you carry home? Here lies the heritage of the heavens, where land merges with the sacred. Only the boldest souls find peace in this high realm of stone. Picture the planet fracturing 50 million years ago, setting the stage to forge an epic wonder. The Tethys Sea vanished as India slammed into Eurasia at the speed of a growing fingernail. Such immense power pushed ancient seabed deposits 5 miles upward, creating the towering Himalayan range. Landing in the Khumbu, your lungs burn with air tasting of ozone and wood smoke. A temporary settlement of bright nylon tents clusters on the shifting, creaking glacier at Base Camp. As the sensory overload is immediate, rhythmic prayer flags and the metallic tang of bottled oxygen. Revering the peak as Chomolungma, the mother goddess, Sherpas release personal pride through sacred puja blessings. Navigating the Khumbu Icefall is like walking through a sapphire labyrinth of collapsing buildings. On the summit, the sky deepens to dark ink, showing the daunting curve of our planet. You stand where the world ends, transformed by a perspective that makes everything below seem beautifully small. Climbers' success remains darkened by the grim presence of the notorious Rainbow Valley. Here, the vibrant gear of fallen climbers serves as a frozen warning that mountains never forget. Memorial stones at Thukla Pass reveal a stark reality. One climber perishes for every 100 successful ascents. The gamble begins at Lukla Airport, where a tilted runway ends in a sheer, bottomless abyss. Everest attracts the crowds, but Annapurna commands fear due to its deadly 33% mortality rate. Statistically, 1 in 3 who challenge her treacherous heights will never see home again. Still, many attempt the trail, crossing 12 different climate zones from warm farming fields to barren highlands. At Thorong La Pass, air holds only half the oxygen required, turning every step into battle. This long trek around the massive peak shows that the most significant journey happens within ourselves. Every breath is a hard-won victory against the tectonic groans and sudden, erasing avalanches of nature. Ascending higher, Hindu customs gradually give way to the deep, echoing sound of ancient Buddhist mantras. Spirituality feels as light as thinning air, especially at Tilicho Lake's silent turquoise mirror. Expert Sherpa guides track weather changes and secure climbing lines over slopes that alter every day. Even yaks defy gravity, navigating sheer ice with heavy hooves to carry solar panels and rice. Local youth run about Namche Bazaar at elevations where visitors find themselves gasping for oxygen. As the bronze gaze of Tenzing Norgay watches the summits, a silent sentinel of mountain history. Within these harsh environments, rare red pandas thrive in thick bamboo forests situated well beneath the summits. We realize the mountain isn't a trophy. It is a spiritual gatekeeper to another world. True achievement means returning safely, with one's perspectives forever altered by the scale of the mountains. The thin air demands that you leave your old self behind on the frozen slopes. These guides are genuine experts. Beyond the icy giants lies Upper Mustang, the forbidden desert where red sandstone cliffs rise. Constant mountain winds carve this isolated region into vertical stone spires and historical cliff dwellings. These vertical apartments, carved into limestone guard, secrets of a civilization lost to the silence. The gilded temples of Tangboch gleam at dawn, presenting a sacred spectacle against the rocky peaks. Descending into Kathmandu, we find palaces that survived centuries of tectonic shifts and violent earthquakes. Scented with colored powders and fresh marigold garlands, the breeze drifts past Kal Bhairav's stone visage. Saffron-clad holy men smeared in ash teach us that mastery is the art of letting go. Traveling through these harsh altitudes compels climbers to face a deep, humbling outlook on life. In the end, you don't conquer the Himalayas. You simply survive if they let you. Did you explore the high peak, or did the wilderness ultimately discover your true self? It is truly haunting. Or, stepping into Kathmandu's ancient plazas feels akin to entering an artist's vivid dream of intricate architecture. Architecture here isn't merely shelter. It is a centuries-old act of spiritual defiance carved into heavy timber. Ornate wooden window frames become entryways watched by fierce gods, their timbers bearing witness to countless historical earthquakes. In the narrow alleys, the rhythmic chaos of modern life takes over as rickshaws dance a frantic ballet with motorcycles. The atmosphere, filled with spicy cooking aromas and traffic fumes, echoes with local shopkeepers calling out above the urban noise. Come. Vendors sell yak butter on the same soot-stained corners their ancestors claimed centuries ago, proving some traditions are simply too stubborn to die. Overhead, messy webs of power lines hang like modern prayer beads, linking ancient stone temples with contemporary technology. It is a city that breathes through its own contradictions, where Wi-Fi signals flicker as unpredictably as butter lamps in a drafty temple. However, behind the lively atmosphere, the blackened ruins of government offices offer a sober reminder of a modern democracy forged through conflict. Nepal's history is a jagged line of struggle, proving that the hardest climb isn't the Lot's face, but the long journey toward a nation's own soul. The surrounding region was permanently altered back in 2015, when a massive 7.8 earthquake struck the area. We stand before the Darahara Tower, a white sentinel that was reduced to a pile of dust in seconds, only to rise again, taller and stronger than before. Rising like a phoenix, this spot provides the sole perspective from which the vast, crowded brick-red city becomes comprehensible. Nearby, the massive golden crown of Bodhanath Stupa anchors the sky against the encroaching clouds. Buddha's decorated eyes look down in silent, peaceful contemplation, while crowds of devotees walk around the stupa in steady, clockwise patterns. Their footsteps have worn the ancient stones, smooth, a million prayers for merit and mercy rising into the thin Himalayan mist. Observe the red double triangle national flag, which remains the only banner worldwide that rejects the conventional rectangular shape. It is a defiant geometry that mirrors the mountain peaks themselves, representing a culture that simply won't fit into the world's modern molds. As our departure from this intense region approaches, the massive peaks seem to watch us with an unwavering, timeless gaze. We came here to conquer a peak, but we leave knowing the mountain was the one doing the testing the entire time. Amid this rarefied, sacred atmosphere where land connects with heaven, finding the peak requires more than just physical exertion. The mountain finally finds you, forcing you to leave your old, small self behind on the frozen, wind-swept slopes. Which aspect of your inner self will dwell indefinitely beneath the shadows of these quiet, unmoving giants? This final realization is the heaviest burden we carry back to the world below. Our long expedition concludes, yet the inner change has only started to unfold. And 50 million years ago, the Tethys Sea didn't just disappear. It was crushed into the heavens as the Indian plate slammed into Eurasia with the force of a slow-motion car wreck. Ancient seafloor limestone, once teeming with coral, rose 5 miles high, forming a steep realm guarded by 8 massive, craggy summits. Landing in the Khumbu, your lungs are immediately assaulted by air that tastes of sharp ozone and acrid wood smoke. Visitors reach a temporary settlement of colorful tents situated atop a slowly shifting, creaking glacier. At 29,000 feet, the atmosphere simply quits, proving we never truly conquer Everest. Come, human beings are only temporary visitors allowed to rest at the edge of the sky for a brief, daunting interval. But the view from the top is haunted by the Rainbow Valley, a macabre trail where the vibrant gear of fallen climbers serves as a frozen warning. Environmental dangers remain close by, beginning with the tense experience of touchdown on Lukla's inclined airstrip beside a sheer drop. While the Milky Way spills across the sky like a celestial river, it hides Annapurna's lethal reality. A third of the mountaineers attempting these hazardous peaks will fail to return to their families. Yet, thousands still brave the 200-mile circuit, trading subtropical rice fields for the oxygen-starved moonscape of Thoronla. This sacred trek demonstrates that our greatest journeys are not measured in miles, but in personal spiritual growth. As you climb higher, the air thins and Hindu traditions melt into the haunting, rhythmic chants of high mountain Buddhism. For local Sherpas, the peak is no mere prize. It is Chomalungma, the mother goddess, requiring humility from visitors. They are the true masters of the sky, reading the weather in the shape of clouds and fixing ropes across the sapphire labyrinth of the Khumbu Icefall. Nearby, shaggy yaks act as sturdy beasts of burden, walking across slick slopes to transport modern supplies into the highlands. Even Tenzing Norgay's bronze statue seems to watch the summits with a heavy, knowing silence. And the experience prompts a question: which pieces of your previous life are you prepared to abandon on these mountains? Beyond the ice giants lies the forbidden desert of Upper Mustang, where red sandstone cliffs are sculpted into gravity-defying towers by a wind that never sleeps. Innumerable historical cliff caves dot these limestone faces, preserving the mysteries of a society long since forgotten by history. At Tengboch, golden roofs catch the first light, creating a spiritual theater against the backdrop of indifferent stone. In this region, rare red pandas inhabit misty bamboo groves, representing a small example of survival in the cold altitudes. Descending into Kathmandu, you find a city that breathes through the scars of the 2015 earthquake. Facing the imposing statue of Kal Bhairav, drifting red powder marks a symbolic boundary separating the earthly and spiritual realms. Walking through the palace squares of Kathmandu feels like entering a master craftsman's fever dream of geometric poetry. On each carved timber carries its own tale of endurance, having withstood numerous earthquakes over many generations. Modernity and ancient ritual collide in a frantic ballet of rickshaws, motorcycles, and electrical wires that tangle like urban prayer beads. Still, the burned ruins of government facilities show that the most challenging path is a country's search for stable identity. The Darahara Tower has risen from the dust like a white phoenix, a symbol of a people who refuse to stay broken. Their unique double triangle flag rejects the standard rectangular design to reflect the shape of the surrounding mountains. Calmed down by the sacred Bagmati River, the eternal cycle of life and death is laid bare as Hindu cremation fires burn night and day on stone ghats. Ritual fires reduce physical forms to dust, freeing spirits while the flowing water carries their ash toward the ocean. Incredibly, the four-faced Shiva Lingam stood untouched by the great earthquake, as if protected by a force beyond As urban power grids face shortages, several communities rely on traditional lamps, lighting their homes much like past generations did. Nepal even exists in a different dimension, following a calendar 57 years ahead of our own. Even as modern highways carve through historic rock formations, the mountain's timeless presence continues to watch over you, prompting deep self-reflection. 50 million years ago, the Tethys Sea vanished under the crushing force of a violent tectonic collision, thrusting marine limestone 5 miles high. This high-altitude nation sits directly over the slow collision zone where the Indian plate presses into the Eurasian landmass. Landing in the Khumbu, the atmosphere turns sharp, tasting of ozone and wood smoke as you approach the nomadic city of Everest Base Camp. The deep creaking of moving glacial ice echoes underfoot. Triumph is shadowed by the macabre Rainbow Valley, where the vibrant gear of fallen climbers serves as a frozen landmark. At Thukla Pass, simple rock monuments indicate that one climber perishes for every 100 who reach the top. While Everest is legendary, Annapurna is lethal, with a merciless 33% fatality rate. Travelers cross the barren heights of Thorong La, a high-altitude desert where atmospheric oxygen is reduced by half. Spirituality becomes lighter as altitude increases, shifting from Hindu lowlands to the high mountain Buddhist path. Expert Sherpa guides monitor shifting skies while sturdy yaks haul heavy gear up incredibly steep mountain trails. In Namche Bazaar, market vendors trade yak cheese while children play in the thin air. Pausing in front of Tenzing Norgay's bronze likeness, climbers contemplate which aspects of their lives they must surrender. In the forbidden desert of Upper Mustang, jagged red sandstone cliffs hide ancient sky caves carved into the limestone silence. The gilded roofs at Tengbach catch the early dawn, presenting a sacred contrast to the surrounding grey cliffs. The red panda survives in the bamboo clouds, a testament to life's ability to find a foothold in freezing heights. In front of Karl Bairov's daunting face, drifting red powder fills the air, defining the threshold between humanity and the sacred. Walking through the palace squares feels like entering a master craftsman's mind, where every wooden beam tells a story. Contemporary life and old traditions blend in a chaotic dance of transport, motorbikes and messy overhead wires resembling urban prayer beads. The eternal Dharahara Tower has risen from the dust, a symbol of a people who refuse to stay broken. Come, the red double triangle national flag reflects the mountain ridges, symbolizing a heritage that resists standard international conventions. Along the sacred Bagmati River, Pashupatinath temple witnesses Hindu cremation fires burning day and night on ancient stone ghats. Ceremonial fires reduce bodies to ash, while the nearby river sweeps these mortal remnants toward final liberation. Nepal exists in a different dimension, following a calendar 57 years ahead of our own, blending past and future. In Bhaktapur, the five-tiered Nyatapola temple towers over ancient plazas, protected by stone sculptures of mythic wrestlers and deities. The mountain's grip yields as engineers bore through rock to create the Kathmandu-Terai Expressway. The cold mountain peaks eventually transition into humid rainforests and wide agricultural fields. In Chitwan National Park, the one-horned rhinoceros has returned, with 600 giants patrolling the grasslands like living tanks. The forest is filled with elegant life, from shimmering pheasants to Bengal tigers hunting in the shadows. Success brings tension as powerful beasts raid local crops, forcing a fragile peace. Upon concluding this voyage, the silent watch of the high summits presents a parting, profound inquiry. In these holy heights, did you find the mountain, or did the mountain finally find you? Picture the sunlit Terai lowlands, a massive basin where yellow crop fields reach toward the distant sky like a vibrant quilt woven from centuries of history. In this thick, humid air, we witness the rhythmic labor of farmers wielding curved sickles, a manual dance of pure devotion that has remained fundamentally unchanged for over 2,500 years. Although the countryside looks quite simple, this quiet farming region represents the birthplace of a peaceful global movement that influenced half the world without ever utilizing physical force. This is Lumbini, the birthplace of the light of Asia, where the ground itself feels heavy with the gravitational weight of world-changing revelations. Entering the peaceful interior of the Maya Devi temple, we observe where researchers carefully excavated the ground to uncover ancient brick structures from the 6th century BCE. Stand for a moment at the exact epicenter of this sacred ground, the spot where a queen once reached for a heavy tree branch and brought forth a child. Born into incredible wealth, this prince was destined to rule from a golden palace. But he chose an unconventional life, exchanging his royalty for a basic wooden bowl. Just outside the temple, we encounter the legendary Ashoka Pillar, a towering sandstone sentinel standing as a silent witness to the dawn of a new global consciousness. And, commissioned by a ruler weary of devastating warfare, the stone columns' carved messages remain remarkably clear and readable despite weathering 2,200 years of wind and rain. It is a stone testament to the transformative moment when humanity's greatest conqueror abandoned the sword forever to embrace the quiet path of non-violence and mercy. Currently, Lumbini has transformed into an international pilgrimage destination, a protected park where various countries have constructed large shrines to honor a spiritual leader who sought to eliminate human pain. Marvel at the Myanmar temple's soaring golden spires that pierce the hazy afternoon sky, standing in stark contrast to the nearby Sri Lankan monastery's elegant, stripped-back simplicity. The park features diverse sacred architecture, showcasing everything from the pointed, multi-layered roofs of Thai structures to the detailed stone carvings of Cambodian shrines, where art and faith unite. The Vietnamese pagoda stands nearby with its resilient red columns, serving as a powerful testament to a faith that survived the literal fires of war and the crushing weight of revolution. Various Buddhist styles are visible throughout the area, ranging from colorful Chinese temples adorned with dragon motifs to the simple, quiet meditation rooms of Japanese spiritual retreats. High above the trees, the World Peace Stupa rises as a gleaming white dome built by Japanese monks to signal that the only true victory is the peace found in the stillness within. At the center, a continuous peace flames burns inside a glass enclosure, kept alight by dedicated monks during heavy monsoon storms and freezing winter winds to represent their continuous spiritual heritage. We finally stand before the massive golden Buddha sitting in eternal meditation, undisturbed by the chaotic swirl of pilgrims and the noise of modern life. This challenges typical ideas of power, revealing that one of history's most notable figures gained his influence by deliberately choosing to abandon all personal wealth and status. As our journey through this kingdom of extremes draws to a close, we are forced to reconcile our own loud ambitions with the silence of the peaks and the peace of these plains. Throughout this region of sacred spaces, a parting, profound inquiry lingers, echoing all the way from the highest mountain peaks down to the coastal plains. And did we truly find the mountain? Or did the mountain finally find the person we were hiding underneath the entire time? Moving away from the warm southern lowlands, our route ascends into the mid-hills of Nepal, a pleasant region situated between the humid valleys and the freezing high-altitude peaks. This is where traditional Nepalese life takes deep root, thriving far from the commercialized chaos and the frozen trophy hunts of the world's tallest summits. Within the hamlet of Gandruk, traditional stone dwellings descend the slopes like a massive rock stairway, constructed in visual harmony with the towering mountain peaks around them. Golden morning light catches on heavy slate roofs, while weathered prayer flags act as colorful conduits for silent, spiritual conversations with the relentless mountain wind. The atmosphere is a crisp, rich blend of wood fire, ozone, and wet masonry, offering a sensory indication that you have reached the edge of the high mountains. Centuries of human defiance are etched into the hillsides in precise green geometry, where ancient terraced fields step up toward the clouds in defiance of gravity. This region is shaped by generations of intense farming work, with families carving out fields from steep hillsides originally covered in thick wild forests. To navigate this vertical labyrinth, you must cross the iconic rope bridges that span massive roaring chasms with nothing but thin air beneath. Strung with worn steel cables and aged wooden boards, these bridges connect remote mountain hamlets while swinging heavily in the erratic wind. For a traveler, it's a heart-pounding leap of faith. For a local Sherpa, it's merely the Tuesday morning commute to the market. Far below, the roaring currents of rushing meltwater create a steady background noise to the steady clicking hooves of passing mule trains. These sure-footed beasts are the four-legged backbone of Himalayan commerce, carrying everything from medicine to solar panels on trails far too narrow for any wheel. Ringing metal bells around their necks announce vital supplies reaching isolated settlements, where daily life has remained unchanged for hundreds of years. But eventually, the rugged wilderness yields to the vibrant energy of Pokhara, the undisputed adventure capital, where survival has evolved into a high-octane sport. In this valley, paragliders take off like ancient birds, soaring on warm air currents above Fiwa Lake, while balloons float over historical terraces. It's a jarring, beautiful contrast. The frantic adrenaline of modern thrill seekers set against the ancient, unmoving silence of the massive Annapurna Range. Come, boating across the calm water in a traditional wooden vessel, we observe the rocky image of Fishtail Mountain reflecting on the dark blue surface. Lotus blooms mark the turning seasons in floating gardens, bridging the gap between shoreline Hindu temples and the neon-lit cafes of the lakeside strip. High atop the Pumdikot Ridge, A giant statue of Lord Shiva overlooks the valley below, representing the harmony of modern tourism and ancient worship. As we prepare to leave this kingdom of extremes, we face a final haunting reckoning that echoes through the thin, holy air. Amid this region of sacred dust and craggy rocks, did we discover the summits? Or did these giants expose the real identity we kept hidden? In the Dholaka district, the jagged, vertical violence of the high Himalayas finally yields to the emerald waves of the rolling Ceylon hills. The peaceful rural valley presents a striking visual contrast, where ancient glacial walls tower immediately behind gentle, lush green hillsides. But the true marvel here is the human mosaic, a vibrant tapestry of ethnic groups speaking over 120 distinct ancient languages. Witness a community where Hindu shrines and Buddhist monasteries coexist in the high altitudes, showing that religious harmony remains the country's greatest asset. High upon the ridgy tops of Gorkha, the unification of Nepal began from a fortress that still commands the horizon with a heavy, stone-cold gaze. Out of these rough mountains came the Gorkha soldiers, fighters whose legendary bravery and steadfast determination gained recognition across the globe. Nepal holds the title of the oldest country in South Asia, a rare sovereign miracle that never buckled under the weight of foreign occupation. The region's endurance depends on local villagers working in unity, remaining close despite a rugged landscape that challenges their daily survival. Beneath this ancient strength lies a young, fragile democracy, navigating its own growing pains in the literal shadow of global giants. Such domestic challenges represent merely the newest chapter for a resilient country accustomed to adapting and surviving in tough geographical conditions. Nepal serves as a global testament to the human spirit's refusal to be defeated by vertical landscapes or the crushing weight of thin air. It demonstrates how communities can establish homes and enjoy quiet lives in rugged regions where survival appears highly unlikely. As we depart this majestic kingdom of extremes, we realize the mountain acted as a mirror to our own hidden resilience. Was our journey meant to view the world's highest peaks, or to explore the hidden limits of our personal strength? In this land of holy air and sacred dust, the final question remains: did you find the mountain, or did the mountain finally find you? And though we depart the mountains, we retain the memory of the heights within us, changed by a landscape that puts our daily worries in perspective.